Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Anon Cuz Crazy X from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit, and it says, Am I the arsehole for not staying overnight at the hospital with our 7-year-old son, along with my ex-wife? And before we do get into this story, just a trigger warning for you in case you want to skip it. Totally up to you. It contains talk of serious pneumonia in a child. Timestamps are always down in the description. Please feel free to use them. And now, let's start. Our son has a bad case of pneumonia, requiring a surgical procedure to drain fluid from his chest, and now he has a chest tube. The infection is pretty bad. We've been here about 8 days and he is finally starting to turn a corner. The fevers are less frequent and not as high. I've been here every day and will continue to do so. His mum, my ex-wife, is also here, but during the day she's working, remotely, and a little more distracted. A couple of days ago, with our son showing some progress, I decided to leave for the night so I can get some rest. His mum will leave for about 3 hours in the late afternoon/evening to shower, change, do whatever, and when she returns, I leave. At that time, our son is getting ready to sleep or is sleeping. I return first thing in the morning between 6 and 6:30 a.m. to make sure I am here for the doctor's rounds or any early morning procedure such as labs or x-rays. Full transparency, my girlfriend lives nearby and I go to her house to shower, change and get some rest in a real bed. I've offered my son's mum the same opportunity. I've told her that if she wanted to go home for the night, I'm more than happy to stay. However, she refuses, and today when I made the same offer, she said no. She's going to stay with our son and doesn't understand how any parent can leave their child at the hospital so they can go be with their partner. Apparently, she can still get in my head because here I am asking if I'm the arsehole for leaving my son at the hospital with his mum, my ex-wife, instead of staying the night. Should I also be staying if she's here? In the comments, OP clarified. OP said, we both stayed for the first 5 nights. Once he was stable through the night is when I suggested shifts, gave her the opportunity to go home and get rest first, but she's declined each and every time. So I do leave once our son is asleep or just about to sleep. OP responded to someone saying that OP's ex wanting to be a martyr and said, I didn't want to make the post making my son's mum to sound that way, but that's exactly what's going on. She complains she's tired, makes sly comments about her having to help our son pee at night at the bedside because of the chest tube, but refuses to have the nurses help. She has the extra bed available in the room but insists on sleeping in his bed, which with all the cables and tubes and such, I advised against it, but yes, she's the poor mum that can't leave his side. And Mrs. Weasley, the top comment, said, okay, your title typo is delightful, which I didn't read out, which was basically about, it said extra wife instead of ex-wife. But Mrs. Weasley continues saying, I was really looking forward to learning what an extra wife is. But to your question, not the arsehole. Sounds like your ex is playing the martyr. I mean, there's nothing wrong with feeling like you can't leave your very sick child in the hospital. But there's also nothing wrong with leaving him while someone else is there so you can take care of yourself. Especially since you have offered the same to her. It's just 2 different ways of responding to a crisis. So her laying a guilt trip on you for responding differently is not healthy. Now for me in this, I would understand why any parent would want to spend all the time with their child when they're in a medical crisis. Do I think it's a healthy thing to do? Absolutely not, but I do get why they would want to do that. I kind of look at it like grief in some ways. We all act in different ways, and I think it's the same with this kind of thing as well. But I think your ex's comment about how any parent can leave their child is particularly unfair. You're not abandoning your child, you're taking like necessary self-care breaks while ensuring that there's like continuous parental presence, if you like. It sounds like you've tried to put things in place that you offered to swap overnight duty. It just shows that you're willing to share the load as well. And I think it's particularly healthy to try and get good rest when you're in a situation like this. And I'm not saying it's easy because it's going to be incredibly difficult. That's your child in there. I totally get that. And like I said, I would get it that a parent would want to stay there all the time. I understand that. But I just feel like, you know, there's 2 of you, tag teaming it, taking turns would be the best approach. And I just felt like some of the comments that she made, like how any parent can leave their child, was just a little bit manipulative, you know? But I also wonder if it's just one of those things said in the heat of the moment with everything going on, all the concern for your child. You know, it does fucked up stuff to your head, especially probably sleep deprived at the same time as well, frustrated, exhausted. Yes, it's not OP's fault, but I think I do understand it. But OP did come in with their update and said, first of all, I want to thank you all for your well wishes. It truly means a lot. We're still at the hospital, but my son is doing much better. Chest tube is scheduled to come out tomorrow. He's responding well to new antibiotics. Appetite is back and fevers have gone for over 48 hours. Thank God. I continue to offer my son's mum to go home for the night, but she continues to refuse. However, she has taken longer breaks during the day, and it seems like she's getting some rest because she comes back looking more refreshed. Since she insists on staying, I continue to leave for a few hours at night to get some sleep. However, I am back first thing in the morning before they wake, and to make sure I don't miss any procedure, labs, x-ray, CT scan, or any doctor's rounds, which I haven't, and I stay until my son falls asleep. His mum is better about me leaving. I think because she sees how present and involved I am in our son's care, treatment, and treatment plan. So she stopped with the petty comments for now. Or she's found this thread. Lol. All this has taught me a valuable lesson. We hear about it all the time, but this experience really made me believe it. We cannot take care of other people if we don't take care of ourselves. I feel more present and clear-headed compared to the first few nights when I was staying all night. I'm a bigger guy, so the tiny bed plus the frequent nurse check-ins make it impossible to get any rest. I was miserable during the day and was running on fumes, or adrenaline since our son was in the thick of it. Thankfully, he's in a much more stable place. It really is whatever works for you. This is working for me and I'm okay with it. I get to be present all day with my son, stay engaged in his treatment, and he seems to know that I am here for him, as well as his mum. Side note, therapy has been good for me in learning that I need to stop seeking validation from others and learn and work at looking for validation from within. Still working on that, and I've grown so much in that department everywhere else in my life. I learned though that my son's mum still knows what strings to pull to make me compromise that part of my mental well-being. Although this thread provided some validation, thank you. It was also a big reminder that the validation I truly need is within me. I know I'm doing right by my son, and I also know that I need to take care of myself so my son gets the best possible version of me. And firstly, it's just incredibly nice to hear that the lad is doing so much better now, and that things seem to be moving in the right direction for you all, really. Whether she did see this thread and just give her a little nudge is a good thing, or maybe she just took a rest and got a clear head about it, and now she sees things a little bit clearer. I can definitely say myself, medical situations, I've been in the hospital a few times with my dad and other family members, and I can only say, like, even when I've gone in there fully awake, sometimes it's like an absolute brain fog in there. There's so much going on, so much stimulation around you all the time. You're being given information all over the place, trying to make sense of it with the worry about your loved one. Not making excuses at all, of course, because I still think OP was absolutely right to go and get his rest in this situation, but sometimes it can be just an absolute mindfuck. But once again, I'm glad things are moving in the right direction. But what do you guys make of this situation? You've been in something similar before? How do you find hospital settings yourself? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Comfortable Slide 2656, and it says, am I the arsehole for planning on leaving him without a warning because I no longer have the energy to talk? I'm female 26, leaving him, Mike, male 31, tomorrow. I'm tired of taking crap from his family, while he won't lift a finger to at least stand up for me. His sister has a strong personality that she has used in every way possible to destroy her own marriages. I call her Darla, female 37. She's articulate, learned the trade, and is very outspoken. She could be out there making a living, but she chose to be a stay-at-home mum. No job, fighting her ex for child support, and using her sharp tongue to insult people. She complains about being short of cash, but turns away working opportunities. You can't say anything without being worried that she will think it's about her, and she doesn't respect other people's opinions. For example, she had a major crisis 2 years ago when her ex left her. She was triggered and alternated from tears to rage. Their mum asked me for advice in terms of what to do because they were contemplating sending her to a mental clinic, but she refused. I said maybe she could use a distraction to help her ease her pain. I said maybe getting a part-time job could bring her back to herself, and if she liked it, it would help her keep her mind off what was happening. Days later, Darla decided that I was the enemy, that I insulted her, and that I implied that she was crazy and the root of her mental breakdown was her being jobless. Mike's words. She also decided that I shouldn't talk to their youngest brother, Tim, male 30, and I both became her foe and lost Tim. We were friends in the same week. Mike supported her and told me that Tim and I shouldn't talk so much because it was weird. Tim and I were very good friends, and his wife was almost always included in our interactions. The whole thing left me feeling embarrassed and like I'd done something dirty. I'm sick of having to deal with Mike's attitude every time he visits his family. Our last big argument took place after he came back calling me controlling, and because I asked him to stop drinking because he gets belligerent and has said very hurtful things. And a liar. When my arrhythmia got triggered after a huge argument, and I asked him to leave me alone because I wasn't feeling well due to anxiety. We've been living together. I didn't have a lot of things to take with me, but I paid half of everything and paid for groceries in full and for the electricity bill. No matter how much I contributed, I wasn't treated like an equal, and his mother told me that no matter who or what happens, her son is clear about his main priorities. After this, I got the ick and decided to leave him. I've been sleeping in the guest room for 3 months. He's tried to initiate sex. I treat him politely, but I already lost my impulse to save our relationship. I'm sad, but looking forward to ending this. I found a new place and will move out after he goes out for his morning workout. I already removed my documents and any other important stuff, and whatever I keep at his place fits into my car. I'm planning on letting him know after I'm gone, but I never thought it would come to this, and I'm a bit concerned. Not that I'm trying to justify or protect him, but I know it will be a blow to his ego, and I don't want to trigger his emotional imbalances. I'm mentioning this because I've seen how he gets when his friends brush him off. Also, his best friend cut him off and he got depressed, and a friend he was going to try and start a business with ended things. And Mike was a little scared because he stopped eating and spent all of his free time in bed. I don't see anything that could be said to fix our relationship. I didn't have a lease agreement. I just transferred him the money every month. My best friend says he deserves getting dumped, but sneaking out like that is horrible. Am I the arsehole? Absolutely not the arsehole in this situation, and it's not sneaking out, it's simply just protecting yourself from someone who's showing concerning behavior. And there was just a whole bunch of red flags in this post, his family treating you poorly, him trying to control your friendship with his brother, making it seem inappropriate when it wasn't, him getting belligerent and saying hurtful things, him accusing you of lying about your physical health issues. And my jaw dropped when you said that you've been in separate rooms for 3 months, yet he's still trying to initiate sex. Mummy coming in and telling you that basically you're never going to be the priority in that relationship. And then his extreme swings when, friends distance themselves. And look, you're not being horrible, prioritizing your safety in this way. I've seen way too many horror stories. But the first commenter on this one says, it is not horrible. It is protecting yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially. Make sure you log out of anything in his place. Change all your passwords, even if you believe he never had access to them. Change every single one of them. Consider talking to your bank and changing your account numbers. Getting new debit and credit card numbers also. Yes, I am sometimes paranoid. Notify the utilities you moved and get the service at his place out of your name. Put in a change of address with the post office and directly with things like your health insurance carrier and job. Don't let him guilt and manipulate you into feeling responsible for his feelings. He's shown you who he really is. Believe him. You are not the arsehole. Opie says, I wanted to say thank you. Your advice was very helpful. Another commenter says, if you tell him, you'll just end up in a big argument and neither one of you will be in good shape later, especially if things get thrown or broken. Better to avoid what upset you can. Opie says it's exactly what happened, but over the phone after I left. Commenter says not the arsehole, but leaving without warning is not horrible. It's a liberating release from emotional captivity. You're saying I'm done being the martyr. I deserve better than this toxic situation. That's a message we should all send to our own family members and partners whenever possible. Here's to you. May your new life bring you peace, happiness, and respect. Another commenter says, I know it would be a big blow to his ego, and I don't want to trigger his emotional imbalances. And that was a quote, obviously. And then the commenter says, this is no longer your problem. It should never have been your problem. Sneaking out is absolutely the safest way for a woman to leave. Good luck, not the arsehole. Another commenter says, first, stop worrying about him. Clearly he has a family, and they can look after him. Second, you must leave him in the way that is safest for you. From what you said, he likes to blame you. He likes to browbeat and yell at you. He likes to at least verbally attack you. And frankly, with you leaving, he could become violent. You need to leave and don't tell him where you are. You can leave him a note if you like, but don't do anything that will be dangerous to you. Don't put him first. You're the only one who's going to look out for you, and that's what you need to do. Get out and get safe. Contact friends or anybody who can help you. Stay away from him. Best of luck. Be safe. Not the arsehole. So, at some point later, OP comes in with the update and says, thanks for the advice and tips. I changed my mailing address as soon as I found a new place. I hardly got any sleep because I was very anxious. Last night, he tried to initiate sex by coming into my room. Thankfully, I hadn't packed anything. Kept all the unassembled boxes in my closet, so he didn't catch a glimpse of anything looking off. I did keep most of my things in that room and built a list of items around his place that I needed to load into my car. Also, I took my phone to the IT booth to check for trackers, same for my car. Nothing, which was a relief. He left this morning, so I immediately packed the boxes and my suitcases and the rest of my belongings. I texted him about my decision once I was out, and he called me immediately. He didn't take it well. He accused me of being selfish, using his family as an excuse, and sexually devalued me by calling me a cold fish for not wanting to have sex with him. Also, he had moments in which he apologized and begged me to reconsider, but switched back to hostility. After almost half an hour of back and forth, I hung up because he was making me both nervous and angry, and I can't afford to allow this to affect my health. I blocked everyone in his family, but I'll be changing my number. I've also blocked them from my social media. I'm exhausted because my condition causes fatigue if I don't rest properly for extended periods of time. For now, I'll be focusing on other things to avoid thinking too much. I'm not interested in dating because this has left me feeling very negative towards relationships. Thanks again. The top commenters on that update said, glad you're safe, take care of yourself, and good luck. Another one said, congratulations on taking this step. Be proud of yourself. This Redditor is. Whenever the cold fish comments get stuck in your head, remember you are not a cold fish. He was a total turnoff. Best wishes on this new chapter. Another commenter says, a word of warning. Now that you've gotten out and are safe, do not, under any circumstances, meet him alone to give him closure. He's a big boy. He can deal with his feelings on his own. It may literally be not safe for you to see him again. Do not respond to him at all. You're doing great. And the last commenter says, not the arsehole. Sounds like you made the best decision for your health and well-being. Given plenty of chances to respect your boundaries, and it's clear he wasn't willing to do that. You're not responsible for his reactions, especially when he's trying to manipulate and guilt trip you into staying in a toxic situation. Prioritizing your mental and physical health is always the right choice. It takes a lot of strength to walk away, and I hope you find peace and healing as you focus on yourself now. And absolutely, and it just confirmed that OP was right to do what they did in the end. My eyes rolled so far in the back of my head that I saw my brain when he made that cold fish comment. It was just like classic manipulation, deflection, like he can't control you anymore, so he'll try and make you feel down about it. Oh, you don't want sex with me? Like there must be something wrong with you kind of thing. Like just pure deflection as his own failures as a partner. And we see the behavior a lot where he went from, hostility to apologizing and back again. We see that time and time again. And I always found like that kind of thing fascinating. So I was Googling it a couple of months ago about it, just to, try and educate myself a bit. And I was reading about how like it's super common in like toxic relationships because how effective it is, like keeping the person off balance, confused, and like second guessing everything really. Keeps the person thinking, oh, maybe they will change, or maybe it's not that bad, so they can get you in again, and then the cycle continues again. But once again, I'm just so glad that OP did get themselves out of that relationship. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.